Thanks for existing, don't come. That was my dad's Christmas text. For over a year, I'd been covering everything: rent, food, bills, all while living with my sister. But that night, she told our parents I was just squatting. I said nothing. The next morning, her key didn't work anymore. 2 gift-wrapped boxes sat silently on the doorstep, one even moved slightly. No greeting, no explanation, just those 6 cold words on Christmas Eve. I sat cross-legged on my bedroom floor, staring at my phone, hoping the message would somehow change if I looked long enough. It never did. They were all together, my parents, my sister, celebrating the holiday like a perfect family, and I was left out, once again. My sister Alina claimed she'd lost her job. While she figured things out, I quietly paid every bill, because that's what family does, right? That night, before leaving for our parents' Christmas dinner, she shrugged on her coat, fixed her curls in the mirror, and said casually, "Oh, by the way, I told them you're just squatting here since your name's not on the lease." She wasn't joking, she said it like fact. I was washing dishes, my hands froze in the suds. "You told them what?" She rolled her eyes. "Relax, it's not a big deal. I just didn't want them thinking I'm letting you live here rent-free. Easier this way." "But I am paying the rent," I said quietly. "Well, they don't need to know that." And then she left before I could reply. I didn't text or call, I just sat at the kitchen table, staring at the cheap string lights I'd hung weeks ago, wondering how many more years I'd keep paying for people who'd already decided I didn't belong. By midnight, I'd made up my mind. I grabbed the toolkit from the hallway closet and changed the locks. No hesitation, no guilt. That night, the apartment felt lighter, quieter, safer. Mine, maybe for the first time. The next morning, around 8:17, I heard keys rattling at the door, click, curse, click, nothing, then knocking, then pounding, then silence. I didn't open the door. But I left something for her. 2 wrapped boxes on the welcome mat, one medium-sized, tied with a perfect ribbon, the other small and still moving. It started small: groceries, then rent, then student loans she promised to repay soon. When she got fired again, I didn't ask questions, I just took on extra shifts, sold my old laptop, gave up hobbies, even dating. I told myself it was temporary, that this is what good brothers do. But temporary turned into routine, routine became obligation, obligation became silence. Because what do you say to someone who lets you pay their bills, then tells your parents you're just squatting? I should have seen it coming. Alina had always been good with words, twisting things so she played the victim and I looked like the problem. As kids, she cried her way out of trouble. As adults, she cried her way into everyone's wallet, especially our parents. To them, she was the creative soul. A little chaotic, Mom said with a laugh. But she means well. Meanwhile, I was the serious one, too controlling, too cold. But cold is what you become when love is conditional. Months ago, I stopped going to family dinners, not because I didn't want to see them, but because I couldn't pretend anymore. Every talk turned into a financial guilt trip. "You're the stable one, she's struggling. You know she has a delicate spirit. Why are you always so difficult?" The truth? I was exhausted. Tired of paying for everything. Tired of being the adult. Tired of waking up in an apartment I paid for only to be called a burden. The breaking point came just 3 weeks before Christmas. I had just finished a 12-hour shift and picked up takeout for us. I put the bag down. Alina didn't even look up from her phone. "Can you Venmo me for my share?" she said casually. I blinked. "You mean the takeout I bought with my card, while you haven't paid rent in 3 months?" She shrugged without looking. "Yeah, but you chose to do that. No one asked you. You've been asking me all year." "Well, no one forced you." That's when it hit me. She never felt guilty, not once. She wasn't desperate. She was using me because I let her. A week later, I saw the credit card statement. Not hers, mine. $6,438.72 spent on Sephora, Apple, Zara, spa days, tattoo deposits. I called the company. They confirmed an account opened with my social security number and email. She'd stolen my identity. I didn't confront her, not yet. I went quiet, watched, took screenshots. Watched her walk around the apartment in new boots and an Apple Watch, laughing on FaceTime with friends, talking about my stupid brother like I wasn't 5 feet away. I had planned to wait until New Year's to say something, maybe even February, let it build, let it sting. But then Christmas came with my dad's message, thanks for existing, don't come. Later that night, Alina sipped wine with a smirk and said, "You can't really expect them to see you as family when you act like a tenant, you don't belong." So I changed the locks. I left her the gifts I'd bought because I'm not cruel, but I added one more. The second box contained a copy of the credit card statement, her name scrawled in red marker, a flash drive with recordings of her bragging to friends. One clip caught her laughing. "Honestly, he deserves it. He's like a bank with no overdraft fees. Why wouldn't I take advantage?" The box trembled from the phone I'd hidden inside, buzzing on a loop with a scheduled alarm. I wanted her to feel what I'd felt all year, confused, rattled, shaken. Later, I was reheating leftovers when the banging started, not a knock banging like she wanted to break the door down. I wasn't surprised. What surprised me was how calm I felt. I opened the door slowly. There she was, Alina, hair wild, eyeliner smudged, rage in her eyes. "What is this?" she screamed, holding the vibrating box like it was a bomb. I tilted my head. A Christmas present. It was vibrating. "I know, did you open it?" Her mouth opened, then shut. "You should," I said, stepping aside. "Come in, since you don't have keys anymore." She stormed in, dropped the box on the coffee table, ripped the ribbon off, and stared. Inside was screenshots of her texts calling me a freeloader and paycheck, a flash drive labeled, "For Dad, play this if you still have a spine," a sticky note folded neatly with one line, "Your lease is up emotionally and otherwise." She glared at me. "You're heartless." "No," I said, "just done." Then my phone buzzed, a call from Dad. I answered on speaker. "Son, what is going on? Your sister showed us what you left her. That was cruel. What happened to family?" I laughed shortly. "You mean the family that told me not to come to Christmas?" "That wasn't about you," he snapped. "You've been cold, isolating yourself. You told me not to come." I cut in, and I listened. Alina grabbed the phone, yelling, "Dad, he's gone nuts, changed the locks, stalking me, planted." "Oh, please," I said, taking the phone back. "Why don't you tell him what's really in that box?" Silence. "Dad," I said, voice steady, "do you know who's been using my identity to open credit accounts? Who's $6,438 in debt under my name?" "Is that true?" he asked. "No," Alina shouted. "He's lying, trying to get attention." "Then why does Capital One have her email attached to an account with my social security number? Why are there receipts from stores she shops at under my name?" No answer. "But the best part," I said, pulling out a small speaker, "is this." I hit play. Her voice filled the room, clear. "He's so easy to manipulate, always feels guilty. I could burn down the apartment and he'd still pay my phone bill." Her face drained. "That's out of context." "Really?" I raised a brow. "What's the context of, he deserves to suffer?" Dad was silent, so was she, so was the world. Then came a soft knock. I opened the door. It was Mom, and behind her, Mike, Alina's ex. "What are you?" Alina began. "I need to talk to both of you," Mike said, voice trembling with fury. "I just found out someone's been using my name too. 2 iPhones, a hotel booking. They called me for payment today." He turned to Alina. "Was it you?" She stammered. No answer. He looked at the box, the flash drive, the glowing speaker. "I think you should leave." "Now what?" she snapped. "I'm staying." Mike stepped inside. "Mind if I crash for a few days? I think we've both been played by the same person. Maybe it's time we stop playing her game." Alina blinked, stunned. "You're siding with him?" "I'm done siding with liars." She stood frozen, no script, no fake tears, no manipulations, just silence. "Don't worry," I said, tossing her coat near the trash. "Your things are out there, feel free to guess which is which." She left. No more threats, no more guilt, just footsteps down the hall and the elevator doors closing. The next morning, The silence felt earned. I held a mug of reheated coffee, watching the steam spiral upward. No guilt, no regret, just peace. Mike was still asleep on the couch, snoring softly under a blanket. When he woke, he saw my laptop open and raised an eyebrow. "You're working already?" "Getting my money back." He sat up. "Pressing charges?" "More than that." I turned the screen toward him. "This is official. Step 1, the claim." I'd been compiling evidence since she left: screenshots, IP logs, bank histories, receipts. I filed an identity theft report with police and fraud cases with the banks. Capital One flagged the account first and launched an investigation. By Friday, my phone buzzed with an approval email. Full reimbursement, $6,438.72 back in my account. I exhaled deeply, but I wasn't done. Step 2, the calculation. I opened a spreadsheet and started tallying. 18 months of paying for 2 people. Rent, $950 per month. Utilities, $180 average. Groceries, $400. Random emergencies, $100 to $500. I scrolled to the bottom. $17,892, not including emotional damage or missed meals and double shifts. I saved screenshots, loaded a flash drive, and called a lawyer. Step 3, the suit. "I'm not just here for the credit theft," I told the attorney. "I want restitution. She lived off me for over a year and my parents enabled it." He was sharp, with expensive shoes and a confident smile. "Do you have proof?" I slid the flash drive across his desk. He plugged it in, clicked through, and his eyes widened. "You documented everything, every dollar, and your parents?" "They added my name to utility accounts without telling me." "I found the contracts," the lawyer said, giving a low whistle. "This isn't just identity theft, it's long-term financial exploitation. So, do we have a case?" He leaned back in his chair. "Oh, we have a very public one." Step 4, the explosion. 3 weeks later, on a rainy Wednesday afternoon, 3 certified letters landed at my parents' home, one each for Alina, Mom, and Dad, all stamped with the name Keller and Moore, attorneys at law. 20 minutes later, my phone rang. Caller ID, Mom. I answered. "What are you doing?" she snapped. "Good morning to you too. You're suing us, after everything we've done for you?" "Done to me," I corrected. "Let's not twist it. We're your family." "You also co-signed 2 utility accounts under my name and added me to a third without my consent. That's fraud." "It was just paperwork." "It was theft." "You're blowing this out of proportion. You told me not to come to Christmas." The line fell silent, then her voice dropped an octave. "We raised you, we let you stay here when you needed it. I paid for everything. I wasn't staying, I was supporting. There's a difference." Step 5, the ally. 3 days later, my grandmother called. I hadn't heard from her in months, not since Alina told me, "Nana's tired of your drama, don't call her anymore." But this time, her voice was firm. "I saw the lawsuit," she said, "and the bank statement." My stomach dropped. "You saw the bond?" She sighed. "Your father cashed out over $9,000 from a savings bond created in your name. He used it to pay off Alina's old car." I froze. "You didn't know?" "I didn't even know the bond existed." "Well, there isn't much left, but I froze what remains and moved the account. It's yours again where it should have been." I was speechless. Then she added, "I've rewritten my will. You'll be getting the house when the time comes. I trust you'll do what's right with it." "Nana, why?" "Because you're the only one who never asked for anything, and the only one who kept receipts." The courtroom. Alina showed up in beige, like she was auditioning for sympathy. Mom wore black. Dad couldn't meet my eyes. My lawyer laid it all out. Page after page of financial statements, voice recordings, forged documents, power of attorney violations, identity theft, misuse of bonds. Alina tried to cry. Mom played the confused card. Dad just sat there, defeated. But the judge? The judge was sharp. "Is it true you listed your son's name on financial documents without his consent?" she asked my mother. "I mean, it was family. Ma'am, yes or no?" A long pause. "Yes," she whispered. The ruling came quickly. $13,000 in restitution. All fraudulent debts cleared, court costs covered, a formal warning on their records. The post-credit scene. 2 weeks later, I got a letter. No return address. It was Alina's handwriting, I knew it instantly. You happy now? You made your point. Folded inside was a photo of the two of us as kids under the Christmas tree, her clinging to me like I was the only steady thing in her world. I flipped it over and wrote, "You let go first." Then I burned the photo. Funny how silence sounds different when you've earned it. 3 months later, 3 months after the court ruling, not a word from my parents. No texts. No calls. Not even a birthday card. And honestly, good. No more explaining. No more defending myself. No more being guilt-tripped into sacrifice. The apartment was the same, but now, for the first time, it felt like mine. Same walls, same couch, same view. But now, the silence wasn't loneliness, it was peace. The cost. People sometimes ask, wasn't it hard to cut off your entire family? I always say the same thing. It was necessary. I spent years shrinking myself to fit their comfort. Smiling through insults. Paying through silence. Letting them call me selfish while they drained me dry. The real cruelty wasn't walking away. It was how long I stayed. When I stopped being the obedient son and the convenient brother, I saw the truth. They didn't miss me. They missed what I gave them. The message. One afternoon in May, I got an email from someone named Tessa. Subject line, "Your sister isn't doing well. She's couch hopping, lost her job again, says you ruined her life, thought you'd want to know." I stared at the message for a while, then I hit delete. Not because I didn't care, but because caring doesn't mean going back. The last encounter, I ran into my dad at a gas station. He looked smaller, older, like someone who'd run out of excuses. "You look good," he said. I nodded. He stared at the ground. "You know your mother's still angry, says you ruined Christmas." I raised an eyebrow. "She started it with 'Don't come.' I just listened." He sighed. "Family fights, son." "No," I said. "Families fight for each other. You fought for Alina, you never fought for me." He didn't answer. Just stood there, waiting, hoping for a way back in. I didn't give him one. I got in my car and drove away. And it felt like freedom. This wasn't revenge. This was freedom. Let me be clear, this wasn't vengeance. It wasn't about punishing anyone. It wasn't even about being right, though I was. It was about finally letting go. Letting go of a system where love had conditions. Letting go of guilt I never earned. Letting go of the self I had to kill to be accepted. I didn't destroy my family. I just stopped destroying myself to protect them. People like Alina survive because others absorb the damage. I stopped absorbing. And the whole machine fell apart. Not because I broke it, but because I walked away. And for the first time, I truly felt alive. The unexpected closure. 2 weeks ago, I got a package, no return address. Inside, a single envelope. Inside the envelope, one photo. Me and Ellie, Alina's daughter. She was maybe 4, perched on my shoulders, laughing, hands gripping my face. On the back, in small, shaky handwriting, "I'm sorry for how my mom treated you. Thank you for everything. Ellie." I stared at it until the words blurred. I don't know how she got my address. Maybe Nana. Maybe fate. But that one note? It made everything worth it. I keep it in my desk drawer. Not because it ties me to the past, but because it reminds me. Walking away doesn't mean you stop loving. It means you start loving yourself more. And that's not revenge. That's freedom.